Hi guys, welcome back for episode number 54 of the weekly playback. This is going to be my PAX Unplugged video where I will talk about the games I played at PAX and what I've brought back. So since the last video, if you watched the last video, which was the first time I was shooting in my new studio slash game room, I have not had a chance to work on my house further. So if the sound is still bad because there might be an echo, or if the lighting is still bad, I apologize. I will get to it all eventually because, you know, I do want to make better board game content, including playthroughs. So I definitely do intend on fixing up this studio and making it better quality so that my videos will be better quality, but it's going to take time. So anyway, I apologize if the sound is not great or if the lighting is not great still. So let's talk about the games that I played at PAX. So I'm going to leave a lot of timestamps below because this is probably going to be a much longer section for one game than you probably want. So I actually spent most of my PAX playing in the AnnaPurna Tournament. So on the back of this PAX Unplugged guide, whatever you call it, was this announcement for AnnaPurna. And I had even received an email about it. And honestly, when I received the email, I had no interest in it. I didn't really know what it was about, but I think the email maybe went out to content creators because everyone receives an email or a list before the convention letting them know who is registered as media. And then you sometimes get emails about that. So I just happened to be wandering around the expo hall like I do every PAX. That's like the number one thing I like to do. And I spend most of my time, I think, wandering around the expo hall. At least I did last year. And I came across the AnnaPurna booth. And is it called a booth or a stall? I really don't know. I'll just call it a booth. So someone just started giving me kind of like an overview, a brief demo of the game. And to be honest, I still kind of had no interest in playing it. Like, it seemed cool, but I was like, you know, I don't know if I want to play in a tournament because that's going to take a lot of time and would take away time from me playing other games and going to other booths in the expo hall. But then, you know, after getting a demo, someone else was there, and he, I don't remember his name, but if you're watching this, hi, you know who you are. So he said that he was going to play in the tournament and I should as well, that it'll be fun. So I kind of got convinced very easily. I get convinced very easily. So I decided to sit down and play in the tournament, and it was a lot of fun. So the first day was a lot of fun. This guy, I don't remember his name. Well, actually it was something, I don't know if he would want his last name. I remember his last name. Maybe his name was Stuart. No, I don't know. Maybe if I have a picture of the tournament standings, it might be in there. So anyway, so he was on my table the first time. Was it at my table? At my table. I can speak English, I promise. We were at the same table when we played the first day of the tournament. I made it to semifinals, and then I got kicked out after semifinals, so I didn't make it to finals of the first day. The first day was great. Everyone was having super fun, and I'm going to explain the game and how it plays in a while. So I'll leave timestamps below, but first I just want to talk about the tournament. So the first day was fun. Everyone was just having a great time, and I didn't feel bad that I, didn't make it to the finals because, I was there to have fun, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun playing this game. I super got into it, and the first round of the first game, I'll admit I had no clue what I was doing, but then the second round, because, again, I'll explain later the rules, I completely understood, and I had a lot of fun, and I became super competitive and was really enjoying the game. The second day, I decided to enter again, so to see if I could win something. So the first prize on each day was $1,000. Then second place was $400. Then third place was $200, and then third place was $300. Fourth place was $200, and then fifth place, the consolation prize, was $100. So each day, those were the prizes. So first day I didn't win anything, but they said that I could come back for the second day, so I did. The second day, again, was having a great time. Everything was going really well. And then at the semifinals, there was this player to the right of me. So again, I feel like everyone was there to have just a fun time, except for this player. I think he was really all about just winning the money. So we're all sitting at a table, and he is standing up while playing in the semifinals. He's hovering over everyone else, which already made it more of a, contentious environment rather than a collaborative, fun kind of gaming experience. And then at one point during the competition, the tournament, the game, so I'm going to get into the game and how it plays in a minute. There's a mountain, and during the game you're like flipping over cards, you're trying to mess with other people's mountains, you're trying to have a fully balanced mountain. So I would have been able to win this round immediately because I had taken a look at my top mountain card previously in the round, and I was ready to have a full balanced mountain when I reached the top, which would have ended that round immediately, and I would have gotten 4 flags. First 1 to 9 flags wins in a game. So I guess the player before me knew that I was going to have a fully balanced mountain. So at some point, another player had a question that came up, and I wanted clarification on this player's question and the answer that was given. And while I was, busy talking to the moderator, because each table had a moderator, this player took their turn and didn't tell me that on their turn they swapped my top mountain card. So then I get back, into the game, and they tell me it's my turn, and I didn't know what he did on his turn. Maybe I should have asked specifically, what did you do on your turn? But I didn't. Instead, I just took my turn, and then I realized that he switched the top card. And that's when I said to him, I was like, wait a second, this card isn't what I thought it was going to be. Like, did you switch my card on your turn? And he said, yes. And I was like, okay, but like when you guys told me it was my turn again, you didn't tell me that you switched my card or what you did for your turn. And he was like, well, why would I tell you? Like, I want to win top prize. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what I did. So I told him that I thought that was playing dirty. I thought it was playing dirty because like I was legitimately asking the moderator a question. It's not like I wasn't paying attention. Like if you're in a tournament and you're not paying attention, then sure, like, okay, that's your own fault that you're not paying attention to see what other players are doing. But up until I had asked that moderator a question, I was fully engaged and fully paying attention to what was going on. So I thought it was kind of dirty that he, did not tell me that he switched my top card on his turn. So I told him that I thought that was dirty play, and after I told him that, and the moderator, I think, got upset at the whole situation, and so she left. She like just dropped her badge and decided to just leave the table completely. So then someone else had to jump in as moderator. So we played the whole round, and in the end, I still ended up making it onto semifinals. So I passed the semifinals, which is what this was, and made it onto finals, which I was happy about, that this guy who I feel like was playing dirty and was just like making it so that we were not having an enjoyable time, like, standing there and hovering over the table while everyone is sitting down, and then, withholding information that was crucial for me to know. I just feel like that's playing dirty when you're in a tournament. I don't know. I mean, maybe people will disagree. But anyway, I made it onto finals. He had, made it onto the like consolation game, whatever, and he didn't even come in 5th place, which I was happy about. So I was happy he didn't win anything. Then in finals, oh my God, I had like the worst luck ever. And I was like, we were a couple rounds in, I still had 0 flags. I was like, I felt at a couple of points in time like I was going to do really well and get a bunch of flags, but then this player to my right, who I'd never played against before in any of the games, she was like using a strategy that I had not seen used before, and it just totally screwed me over. And I ended up coming in 4th place with $200, which I then spent on a couple of board games, which I'll show later in this video, like board games that I thought I would not get review copies of. But overall, it was a very fun experience, and now I will talk about this game called AnnaPurna. So this is the game. So in the end, I walked away with $200 and a signed review copy of this game. So AnnaPurna is designed by Rebecca Horowitz, and I don't know if she does the art as well. Let me just look it up on BGG to see if she also did the art for this game. But yeah, it's a game for up to 4 players. I believe that there is a solo mode. It comes with a few different rule books, which I'll just show you in a second. Yeah, she actually did the art as well. Wow. Okay, so AnnaPurna, and the publishing company's name that they have is called Flat, or is it Fiat? I can't tell. My eyesight is not very good. Okay, so, but Lucre or something like that. So this is AnnaPurna. I'll put it here so you guys can see it. So yeah, it comes with a couple of different rule books. So it has the competitive rule book, And then it has the solo rulebook. Obviously I didn't play solo, I only played competitive. And then it has like the cooperative, the teams rulebook. Here's my certificate for coming in 4th place. And I received a check, of course. So in AnnaPurna, each player is going to have their own little deck of cards, which forms your mountain. At the bottom of the mountain, there's going to be 5 cards, if I remember correctly. Then the next layer up has 4 cards, then 3 cards, then 2 cards, then 1 card. So your objective is to get to the top of the mountain by leaving no trace behind. When they say no trace behind, what they're, oh, these are the flag cards, oops. When they say no trace behind, what they're referring to is, so each card may have some yin or yang signs on it or none at all. So like, for example, here is the binoculars card, and honestly, I don't know which side or which color is yin or yang, but here are the white yin or yang signs, and then here's like some that have 2 black ones, and then here's one that doesn't have any. So when you start the game, all of your cards are face down. You shuffle them and you place them randomly on the mountain, and they're all going to be face down, and each person does this. Then you're going to have 3 cards left over, which is your hand, your backpack actually. Then on your turn, what you can do is you can either explore a card in the same level that you're on, so you start at the bottom, so exploring means flip over, or you can take a card from your backpack and switch it with the face down card on the mountain, and then take the card that you just took from the mountain without looking at it and place it in your cachet, which is like a little like discard at the top of your mountain. So you would place it in your cachet without looking at it, or you could do that to someone else. Like you can swap a card from your hand with a card on someone else's mountain, and that card would then go to, I believe, their cachet. I hardly ever did that, but I believe it's their cachet, not your own. But let me just double check. So that's called trade or hide. So actually it's switch a card from your backpack with a face down card on another climber's mountainside. And then that card from their mountain side goes into your cachet actually. So it's a card from your backpack with a card on their mountain, and that card goes into your cachet. So yeah, so that's, you know, the things, those are the things you can do as you're going up the mountain. What you do when you come down the mountain is different, but as you're going up the mountain, you want to make sure your mountain is balanced. So like, let's suppose at any point in time, you have these 3 cards revealed. So you have these 3 cards. So on one card you have 1 white, and then 4 blacks, and then 3 white. What you're going to want to do before the end of your turn, before you place your meeple on the card, so when it's your turn, you take your little mountain climber and you place him on this, you know, off to the side to indicate that you're doing your actions, and then once you're done, you place him back on the like active card or the card you just revealed to indicate your turn is over. If you've placed him back on a card without sweeping, then someone else can scavenge. So sweeping means you want to cancel out yin and yangs and take these cards and place them into your cachet, because you want a completely balanced mountain. You don't want any yin or yang left over at the end of the game. You want to balance your mountain by removing these cards if you can. So sometimes you might have a clean sweep, like where it's 4 with 4, but in this case I would have had to wait until I had the extra white to make it 4 and 4 to sweep. If you have a card that is all blanks, you can sweep immediately unless it says skip your next turn, in which case you're going to place a Sherpa on that card to indicate that your next turn is affected. Oh no, there goes the mountain climber. Okay, there we go. So basically you're trying to get to the top of the mountain with a clean mountain. If you do that, if you're the first player to reach your peak card, reveal your peak card, and by the end of your turn have a completely balanced mountain, meaning no yin or yang present, you will win immediately that round and get 4 flags in that round. So again, a game ends when a person first reaches 9 flags. However, if you reach the top of the mountain without a balanced mountain, meaning there are still some yin and yang present, then what you're going to do, everyone will get a chance to then reach the peak of the mountain. And once you reach the peak, what you do is you grab your cachet of cards and you mix your cachet with your backpack, and then on your turn, what you can do is you can throw a card at someone else's mountain if they've already peaked. They have to have peaked. because you want to, you know, mess up their yin and yang. So the game will end in that case once the last player has reached their peak, has flipped their peak card. So you can try to mess with other people's mountains by throwing a card at their mountain face up if they've already peaked, and then they can like, you know, take their revenge against you. What's the term for that called? I can't remember. They can sabotage you. Well, they can retaliate. That's the word I'm looking for. They can retaliate by then flipping over a face down card on your mountain, which is now something you're going to have to try to balance before the final player reaches their peak card and the game ends immediately. So you can do that. So that's called throwing. You can drop, so on your own mountainside from your cache, your backpack now, you can drop a card onto your mountain and then flip it over if you're able to, which is called burying. So you're still trying to balance your mountain from the cards in your backpack, you know, that came from your cache, while other players might be trying to mess you up. So it's a really fun game. So what happened during the finals of the tournament that I was in on the second day, I would peak and then the other players would peak, and then the player to my right would stall. She would like continuously, so you know, different cards give you different abilities. So some cards would allow you to like peek at certain cards, some cards would allow you to swap certain cards. So she would stall the game while the rest of us have peaked. I was usually the first one to peak. However, my mountain was not balanced, and I would always think to myself, okay, I'm gonna work on balancing my mountain before everyone else's peaks. But then she would stall, and then what happened was in each game, like I would have other players like throw stuff at me, or I wasn't able to balance my mountain in time, even though I was the first one to peak, and I would come in last place, which would be 0 flags. So for the first couple of rounds of the final, I just had 0 flags, which was just awful. Like I was not getting anywhere, and I knew I was just doomed. And I mean, I didn't get anywhere, but by the end I had 2 flags, I think, by the end of the game. But yeah, so that player strategy was basically to stall in each and every game round that we played, and I just kept on falling for it and would have an unbalanced mountain. But I found this game to be super fun. Like you can really get into it. So let me just show you some of the cards so you can just kind of see what kind of cards there are in this game. And the tournament was a lot of fun. Like when we got to the finals, like all the cards in the game that we had been playing up until the finals were like, you know, sleeved games. But then for the finals, like they did it poker style, where they opened up a brand new box of AnnaPurna so that no one could tell from like nicks in the sleeves or anything like that what a certain card might be. So you weren't at any kind of an advantage. Honestly, I don't know who would put that much effort into like, you know, trying to figure out which cards are which. Like I couldn't do that. But yeah, so I sleeved my own cards, of course, in my copy of the game. But yeah, that Yeti, oh my God, like the worst things that could happen to you, I feel like, are when you flip on your very first turn in a game, the skip your next round card, or you get a Yeti. Actually, I guess getting a Yeti early on is not terrible, because then you have the rest of the mountain to still try to balance out your Yeti, but getting a Yeti in the end would be absolutely terrible. So yeah, so I actually really enjoyed this game. I thought it was super fun, and I can see a lot of strategy in this game. It's definitely like a family style game. It's not like, you know, if you're like super like into heavy hardcore, like heavy games, it's not going to be for you, but it's a really fun game. And I can totally see people having their own tournaments at home. Like, you know, if you're someone who wants to have game tournaments, I can see people being like, all right, you know, we're going to have 4 players and everyone pitch in this amount of money, and then first player will get this, second player will get this, and then third player will get this. I think that would be super fun to have tournaments playing AnnaPurna, because you can really, really get into it. So I really enjoyed myself. I just wish my final round had gone better so that I could have won a bit more money. It turns out that a fan of my content who had wanted to meet me during the convention, and I did not meet him, but his son was playing in the finals against me and was sitting across from me. So it turns out that, you know, at one point when I was doing so badly, the player across from me, which was this kid, and the player to my left tried to throw me some bones, but they were also trying to help themselves. Like, so they were trying to throw me some bones so that I would kind of screw over the player to my right who was messing with everyone by stalling and just, you know, prolonging the game and just causing agony to everyone who was just trying to balance their mountains and, you know, running out of stuff to do. Because if your mountain becomes completely full, you've already peaked, and then you're dropping cards into your mountain and it's already full, then you're out of stuff to do except for mess with other people if they still have open slots on their mountain. So you know, she was really hurting everyone by stalling. And so in the very final round of the game, I had the ability to basically control who would win. And so I was trying to help the kid to win, but then I accidentally just had like a brain fart. Like, I messed with the player on my right, I messed with her mountain, but by the time it got back around to me, she had fixed it, and I didn't realize she fixed it and balanced out her mountain. So I passed on my turn, because you can pass, and then she ended up winning. And I was like, oh no, because then she had peaked, and I didn't realize that she had fixed her mountain from before when I messed with it. And yeah, so she fixed her mountain, and the game was finished, and she came in first and the kid came in second. I really wanted the kid to win the $1,000, but oh well, I messed up. But so I'm still kicking myself for messing up like that. I wish I had been paying more attention and saw that she had, you know, balanced her mountain, so I could have let the kid win $1,000. Oh well. But yeah, super fun game. I'm glad in the end that I basically spent 2 days just playing this game. But yeah, so here are the flag cards. So, you know, after a round, you're going to get a certain number of flags depending on where you came in that round. So yeah, so that is AnnaPurna. So essentially I spent 2 days just playing AnnaPurna. So yeah, so that was my PAX Unplugged. I did play one other game at PAX Unplugged, which I will talk about now. So yeah, I played two total games, but many games of this since I competed in the tournament. The other game I played, oh no, I forgot to stick in a card. I hate when that happens. One second. So yeah, let me just show you the different colors as well. So that way when you throw cards at people, you'll know which cards are yours, because there's, you know, 4 different colors. So there's green, there's gold, there's red, and then blue. So those are the 4 different sets of mountain cards. And then each person has a mountaineer in their own color, plus that Sherpa on the back side for when you need to indicate that your next round is affected somehow. And sometimes, you know, you may be forced to like explore the row above you, even if you don't want to, you know, so there's different cards that can throw you off. There's cards that can help you as well. So yeah, it's a fun game. The other game I played at PAX Unplugged, the only other game, was in the first look section, and that was called Take a Seat. So let me just bring up the information for that. So Take a Seat is a 2022 game for 1 to 6 players, designed by Eloy Pujadas, I hope that's how you pronounce it, and Ferran Renalias, and the art is from Meeple Foundry, and the publisher is Salt and Pepper Games. This is an area majority polyomino, like not roll and write, not really flip and write either, but like it's a, you know, you're basically using a marker to, you know, create your own theater, like seat people in your theater. So in this game, you are going to have some scoring cards, objective cards, which you are trying to meet, which will hopefully give you some points if you're able to meet them, which may be like complete a certain column or complete a certain row, or, you know, have an entire section filled. You are sharing a board with a player on either side of you. So that board is going to affect which action you're going to take in that round. So you're going to mark off one line, you're going to fill in one circle on the shared board, which is going to indicate to you what your basically like bonuses, or like what you kind of get to do. And then you're going to apply that to a certain kind of shape. So a certain kind of ticket. So there's different tickets with different shapes on them. And then when you do that, you fill in one of the shapes, one of the squares in the shape, and then that leaves behind another shape, which is what you're going to be filling in on your board. I know it sounds confusing. So you could either like get the like bonus, which will tell you like, okay, you can fill in an extra thing, you can fill in an extra space in your theater. So it'll tell you what you can do, but then you decide after, you know, which bonus you want, which ticket to apply it to, and then you do that on your own board. So as you're, you know, pushing this board back and forth between you and the player to the other side of you, you both are influencing the shape of the you know, that you're going to be filling in on your own board by marking off those boxes in those various ticket sizes, those shapes. Instead of taking the bonus, like you can instead take a point. And the lower you go on the shared board, the points get higher. So if you decide not to take the bonus action kind of thing and instead do the points will be higher. So the higher value bonuses that would benefit you more are, you know, have a higher value point. So you can either take the point or take the bonus and, like, you know, cross off the thing that you are not going to do. So you basically get to choose between points and like this bonus, and then you fill in a certain shape on your own board. The only downside to this game, you know, I enjoy the aspect of having that shared board and how the shapes are being affected by both players, so you won't know what the shape of a certain ticket color is going to be, a certain section where you will on your own player board need to fill in. You won't know what that shape will be until it comes back to you. So both players are affecting the shapes of these tickets, and also there's a whole area majority thing going on as well, because whoever affected the ticket the most will get points for that ticket at the end. So you have a whole scoring thing where you compare between all the players who has, like, you know, between you and the player to your right and between you and the player to your left, who has the majority on each ticket. And if you have the majority, you'll get certain points for that. The only downside I saw is, you know, maybe this is our own fault. I think when you are playing this game, you want to fill out the shapes in your theater completely. Like, you want to, you know, completely mark them in to indicate that those seats are filled, because you don't have to place shapes adjacent to other shapes. So you might end up with an instance where something is completely surrounded and you have to remember, oh, that space that's surrounded is actually not a filled seat. So it's better to somehow indicate on your theater that the shapes that you're filling in are completely actually filled in. So you want to fill them in completely, or have some kind of a mark in each box to show that it's actually filled in. So you know, we should have done that from the beginning, but we didn't, and the players that I was playing with, realized that, yeah, it could get a bit confusing. Other than that, I thought it was a really cool game. I don't know how it would play solo, but I liked it. I thought it was a cool game. It reminded me of a game that I picked up at PAX Unplugged last year, which is called City Builder. So in City Builder, you also have a shared board between you and the player to your left and your right, and that affects, you know, which buildings you can fill in your own cities that you are building, and you have polyomino tiles and stuff like that. So it reminded me a lot of City Builder. So yeah, I actually really like Take a Seat. So it's a cool game. So you know, check it out if you want. It's you know, it's nice that you don't have to place adjacent to where you are. I think, if I remember correctly, I won. I can't remember correctly now, but I think I did, or did I not? Because I managed to get a number of the objective cards. But yeah, so that was a fun game. So those are the only two games I played at PAX Unplugged, but before going to PAX Unplugged, I played a number of games that were part of my haul from last year's PAX. So I played City Builder again. I played a 2-player game of this. This is from Inside Up Games. Really great polyomino game in which, again, you have a shared board with a player to your left and to your right. Before I played a 4-player game of this, a 2-player game, I did so badly because I had a very unlucky draw of which meeples came up that I would need to house in my buildings, and it just did not go well for me because you have different colors that you are trying to place down in your cities and block them off with streets. And you have to have like extra colors as well in order to then pick up one of those meeples from a shared board, which will then give you points. Yeah, it did not go well for me. Another game I played recently is Nanga Parbat, which is a 2-player game from Dr. Friends Games, which was part of my PAX Unplugged haul last year. Really good game, highly recommend it if you want a small 2-player game, and it comes with really cute animal meeples. And then another game I played recently that was part of my haul, but I bought this, it was not a review copy. I received a review copy of the regular non-deluxe version, and then I went ahead and bought the deluxe version. So Radlands is a hand management game in which you are in this dystopian world, and you are trying to protect your outposts, and you're trying to kill the other players, fighters, whatever, that are protecting their outposts. And I lost really badly in my game of Radlands recently. So those are the games that I've played recently. There's one more game I played recently that I should talk about. Winter. So Winter is a part of my PAX Unplugged haul. So Winter is a really great 2-player game from Devir Games. So I received this as a review copy at PAX Unplugged this year. So I can't believe I almost forgot to talk about this. So I think it's going to be a part of a series of games because in the corner it says 4 seasons. So I guess this is the first release. So Winter is designed by Maria Blasco Armandis and Enrique Blasco, and the art is done by Meeple Foundry and Carlos Ureta, and it's published by Devir Games, and it's for 2 players. This is a really cool game that is, you know, a lot trickier than you would think from reading the rules. So you have this deck of cards that has snowflakes on it, light blue and then dark blue, and that's like literally all it is. And you, on your turn, so you start the game with 1 already placed down, and then the next player, the second player, is going to place down a card adjacent to a card that, you know, is already on the table, and then they are going to decide whether they want to be the dark or the light blue snowflakes. So what you are trying to do on your turn is you can either draw a card from the deck and place it down, or you can place one of your tokens. You must place a token on the center of 4 snowflakes that are of your color. Oh, that's not a good example. Here we go. So when you do that, you're always going to have a token that covers at least 2 cards. It could be possible that it's more than 2 cards. So your token would go there. So the first phase of the game is the freezing phase, where you're placing down cards or tokens. The next part of the game, the second phase of the game, is the thawing phase. In the thawing phase, what you can do is either move a card and place a token. So if you move a card, you can only move a card that is not in any way covered by a token, and then you have to be able to place it elsewhere in such a way that it would allow you to place one of your tokens. If you can't do that, the next option you can do is to remove a card completely from the game. Again, there can be no tokens on it. And if you can't do either one of those, then you must remove one of your own tokens. And by removing one of your own tokens, you may free up a card to then be moved by the other player or removed by the other player. So the game ends once one of the players is completely out of tokens on any of the cards, and they become the loser, and the other person becomes the winner, who still has at least 1 token remaining. So it's a really cool game. Like in the first part of the game, the freezing part of the game, I had more tokens out, so I thought I was in a really strong position, but oh my god, in the second part of the game, I had more tokens out, but it was really difficult for me. I could not like move cards, so my only option would then be to remove a token of mine. So yeah, and then the other player, when I would remove a token, would be able to pick up that card that would then become free and then place it elsewhere. And so my opponent was able to place more tokens in the second round, while I was in this position where I kept on having to remove tokens. It's a really cool game, like way more thinky than I thought it would be for such a small game. I really enjoyed it. You should definitely check out this game if you like small box, you know, really, you know, thought-provoking, like thinky games. Definitely check out Winter. I'm super excited to see what other games they come up with in this season's series. So I'm guessing the next game will be spring, and maybe it'll come out actually in the springtime, then summer, and then autumn. So I hope they do autumn justice, since it is my favorite season. So yeah, I played Winter, and that was part of my PAX Unplugged haul. Really enjoyed that. So those are all the games I played. So now I shall talk about the games that I received before I talk about games that I'm backing. So I think that would probably be the better order of doing things today. So first I will show games that I spent money on. So I actually spent my winnings on these 2 games. The first game is called The Great Split. I had heard a lot of great things about The Great Split, and this is published by Horrible Guild, I think. Yeah, Horrible Guild. And it is designed by Hjalmar Hutch and Lorenzo Silva, and the art is done by my favorite board game artist, Weberson Santiago. I absolutely love his art, as you may know if you watch my videos. So this is, I believe, it's a I split you choose game, or is it reversed in this one? I can't remember. So yeah, it says each round you split your hand of cards into 2 groups and put them into the wallet and pass them to the player on your left. At the same time, you also receive a wallet from the player on your right. and then you must choose which of the two groups of cards you want to pick and give back the other. So yeah, so it comes with a main board, and this is like dual layered. It's not like the thickest board, but it is dual. No, it's not dual layered. Yeah, it is dual layered, just these tiny little spots here. And then each player has their own player board, which are also dual layered. And then let me just show you some of the cards. Well, first I'll show you some of the characters. So these are the characters you can play as. And Weber's and Santiago has a very unique art style, which I absolutely love. You know, if you look at the game, The Bloody Inn, that's like my favorite art of his that he's done for a board game. And then it comes, each player will get this like set of tokens that you use on your own player board. And then there are a set of like tokens and stuff that are used for like the main board. And then here are all the cards. So let me just show you like some of the cards. I'll just show you some. And yeah, I did sleeve it because I just feel like this is a game I'm going to love, even though I haven't even played it. But I just feel that way. So I was like, I'm going to sleeve it. And you know, this is a game where a lot of cards are going to be heavily handled. I did test it. I feel like it won't affect the wallet too much. So here is a wallet. So each person is going to have a wallet, and it comes with a card that has like an arrow on it. So yeah, so that is the Great Split. Again, I haven't played it, but I've heard a lot of great things about it, so I'm super looking forward to playing this. Like, I'm really excited. I think it will probably do better at a higher player count, so I'm hoping I can play this with a minimum of 3, but it would be great if, you know, we could get like 5 or 6 players even. I think it goes up to 7 players. So yeah, it's for 2 to 7 players. So I don't think I want to play this at 2 players. I really hope I can get to a game of like 5 or 6 players with this. I think that would be so much fun. Or even 7, that would be even more fun. The other game, let me get rid of these first. The other game that there we go. The other game that I spent my money on is Planet Unknown from Adam's Apple Games. Huge box. Oh no, maybe I shouldn't have put it that way because all the pieces might fall out of the Susan, the lazy Susan. So let me just pull up the information for Planet Unknown. So yeah, so I got the chance to play this last year, well, this past May, so June, so not really last year. I got the chance to play this earlier in the year at UKGE, the UK Games Expo. So this is a 2022 game for 1 to 6 players designed by Ryan Lambert and Adam Rehberg, and the art is done by Yoma and is published by Adam's Apple Games. So this is a polyomino game with a lazy Susan in it that spins around, and you can kind of affect what tiles people are going to be stuck getting. So yeah, so let me just show you the lazy Susan. It took forever to punch out the tiles and put them into this lazy Susan, but here we go. Some of the pieces have fallen out. So I'm just trying to figure out where they go. Where does this one go? Where does this one go? Okay, here. So here is the lazy Susan. So yeah, there's still more tiles I need to pick up from the box. So yeah, this thing spins around. I don't know if this has a certain orientation it needs to be in when it's here, but I will figure that out because I need to read the rules still. So yeah, you're basically trying to fill up your own planet with like different terrain types. I can't remember exactly what you're doing, but I remember I had fun playing it. That's what I remember. I remember that I thought I was going to come in last place, but I think I actually came in 3rd place when I played. So yeah, and there's like different components. It comes with these really nice chunky like rovers, which are really nice. There's cards like the event deck, which I don't remember what that does, and different kinds of tokens, which honestly, I think these are like comments or something. I don't remember about the rest. And these, I think you like track stuff on your own player boards. So let me just show you like an example of a planet. So like this is like the planet that you're like building on. So there's like an advanced side and like a simple side. I think this is the advanced side and this is probably the simpler side. So each planet comes with 2 sides. This one looks really cool. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's like some special solo mode version. I really don't know. And then you also have a player board with resources that like you're tracking and stuff like that. And also this also comes with 2 sides. So yeah, so all I remember is I enjoyed this game when I played it at UKGE. My friend Andrew taught it to me, and I know that he really loves it. And again, I always trust Andrew's opinions on games. And it also comes with a number of these single block pieces. I don't I don't know if they go on the Lazy Susan. I couldn't find a spot for them, so I guess they don't. But yeah, so I bought Planet Unknown, and here is the score sheet for each player, I guess, or each game. Yeah, so I bought this game. Now I will go into review copies that I received. So, let's talk about this game because it was like high on my wish list, Astra. So Astra is designed by, oh God, I'm gonna butcher this, Patrick Porkolab and Frigyes Schoberl with Esther Christina Sauce. It's a Mind Clash game. I don't know who does the art, but it is for 2 to 5 players. So it says, discover the night skies constellations and bring them to life either by assisting your fellow players or by taking constellations yourself. Collect and spend stardust to mark stars with your marker pen. Discover and collect constellations, earn various boons and abilities granted by the discovered constellations, and gain fame for your efforts in exploring the night sky. So as someone who really loves astronomy, I just really wanted this game, and I believe that this is Mind Clash's first retail, like small box games. So another reason I really wanted it, because I love Mind Clash's games. Well, their favorite of mine is Tricerion, which I have the collector's edition for. So this is a player board, and it does have 2 sides, so I guess you can play again immediately. And then it comes with this, and again, I haven't played this yet, so I don't know exactly how it plays. It comes with some markers, different colors like pink, black, orange, blue, and green. And then it comes with these really pretty like orange amber colored crystals. It comes with some telescope point thingies. I don't know if they're point thingies, whatever they are. I think this is first player marker, that would be my guess. And then it comes with these constellations, which I believe you're also going to be marking, because it's made of the same material that it feels like you will be marking these. The cards on the top, I believe, are from the promo pack. And then, there's just a bunch of different kinds of constellations. Really pretty game. I don't know how it plays yet. And then it also has, I believe these are just scoring cards. I don't know. It says final scoring on the back, so I'm assuming it's scoring cards. I think each person probably gets their own because there's a number of those. And then it comes with some like player aids and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'm super excited to play this. This was like super high on my wish list. This was the first stall I went to when I got to PAX Unplugged, like literally the first one. It was the first thing I did. So I just really wanted a copy of this game so badly. So yeah, so this is a review copy. So I cannot wait to play this and then tell you guys what I think. So yeah, the next game I will talk about, technically I did not receive at PAX Unplugged. It actually arrived a day or 2 before PAX Unplugged, is Mille Everdell. So I received this and it came with a note to say, do not talk about it until Friday, December 2nd, because they were going to reveal this at PAX Unplugged. But again, it arrived a few days before PAX, and it comes with super cute dice. Let me just show you. I really should unbox and organize my whole Everdell collection, because I have everything Everdell, which, I bought myself as not review copies, but I have everything Everdell, and I really need to organize my big box still. It comes with cards, cute cards. And I don't know if this is meant for kids, but I actually really want to play this small version. I've played My Little Scythe with my friend and his like 6-year-old kid, and this kid always beats me. So I don't feel like it's like beneath me to play My Little Everdell. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing this. And I believe it even comes with a solo mode, so maybe I should. It comes with a bunch of cardboard coins, and then even though it comes with the upgraded like bits, it still has the cardboard bits. And then here it has like the gems and the berries and the wood. It comes with these cute little wooden tiles. Let me just show you some of them. So yeah, super duper cute, really cute. God, how can anyone not love the art of Everdell? It's just adorable. Now, I saw that some reviewers already reviewed their copies, and I do not know how they managed to get their crates together. Mine, I just cannot put together. The little wood pieces that go through the little gaps here, they just keep on like, the top layer just keeps on getting pushed back, and I just cannot make these little crates. But it's not the end of the world because, like I said, I have the big Everdell, so I can just use my little walnut whatever crates instead that come with that. And then it comes with these, which I'm guessing are player boards. I don't know. And then it comes with the main board, of course, and then I'll show you the meeples. So this is the main board, and then the various meeples in this game. So yeah, so I'm actually really looking forward to playing my little Everdell. I hope that I will be better at this than, you know, other games like my little scythe. so we'll see. Maybe I'll see if my friend and his kid will be willing to play with me, and I'll see if I can actually win a my little game of some kind. So yeah, so this is super cute, and yeah, I think it has solo rules. Let me just double check. Yeah, it has solo rules. So maybe I should play it solo first. So yeah, so that arrived. Super excited about that. Super cute. It was a nice little surprise. I did not know it was coming, so that was a nice little surprise. The next game I will talk about, which I got from Devir, is Mille Fiori. Now, I don't know if it's supposed to be pronounced Millie or Mill, but I think it's Mill. So this is designed by Rainer Knizia, and the artwork is done by, I do not know who did the artwork. I wish that they would like place the artist's name prominently on the front of the box because I don't know. But let me just look it up. Mille Fiori, let's see. The art is done by Stefan Lorenz, and it's published by Schmidt Spiel and Devir, and it is for 2 to 4 players. So in this game, it says, claim your share of workshops, trade shops, and patrons to score. So this is classified as an area majority influence, closed drafting, and pattern building game. So this game looked really good to me. Both in terms of gameplay, it's rated 7.4 in VGG, and then of course just the board and the components itself. So I really wanted a review copy of this. So this is a review copy. Here is the main board, which is just really beautiful. Yeah. And then it comes with these really gorgeous pieces. Like here, just I don't believe they're glass. I believe they're plastic. That would be probably a bit dangerous if they were glass. So yeah, so just different colors of these crystal-like pieces. So green, purple, red, and orange. So I imagine the board will look really beautiful, and then like the different player pieces. And then it just comes with a bunch of different cards. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to playing this. This is high on my to-play list. I really want to play this soon. The next game that I will show, let me just close this box first. Let's talk about Terra Nova. So I went to the Capstones booth and picked up Terra Nova and Beer and Bread. Beer and Bread is currently at a friend's house, so I can't show that to you, but I will show it to you once I play it. But unfortunately, I don't have that right now. I left it at a friend's house. But I have Terra Nova. So I only played Terra Mystica once, and then I played Gaia Project, which I've been told is Terra Mystica in space. I think it's by the same designer. So Terra Nova is designed by, let's bring up the information. It's designed by Andreas Fall, and the art is done by Loic Bilal, Inga Kutman, Lucas Siegmund, and Christoph Tisch. And this edition is published by Capstone Games. It's for 2 to 4 players. It says, control 1 of 10 asymmetric factions in a streamlined version of Terra Mystica. I don't remember what the different factions were in Terra Mystica, but let me just show you the factions in this game. So on this side, you have sun worshippers, and then you have sand cats, which looks super cool. And then on this board, you have water sprites, and sea dogs. Then you have fairies and druids, golems, and fire sprites, leprechauns, and inventors. Honestly, I feel like these are the two factions I really want to play. And then this is the board, and I believe the board, you know, which side you play on depends on the player count. So I thought, if I remember correctly, that in Terra Mystica there were like different tracks and stuff to go up, but I don't see that with this. Here are like the different land tiles and stuff, money, and then I put like, here's an example of one player's bag, like with all of their buildings and other tiles, whatever those are. I believe that this is the first player marker, like it looks like a shovel. So the different player colors are black, yellow, green, red, and blue, as I had just shown you. And I believe this is like power, if I remember correctly. And here are just some of the other components. And then here are like your, I guess, player aid or something like that. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to playing this game. Oh, and here's, I think, the turn order tracker or something like that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing this and Beer and Bread. So both were review copies, and I cannot wait to play both of them. So let's move on. The next game I will talk about is, actually I'll just show this. This is not a game. It's folded space insert. So I happened to be walking by the folded space booth and someone recognized me. He's like a fan of my content, so we started talking and they gave me a review copy insert of Bitoku. So I'm really excited to put this together. Apparently you can even use just Elmer's glue and then put this thing together, and it looks really cool. Actually, let me just open it up because they actually have like art printed on these. So it actually, you know, is not like a super boring insert. It's like actually got pictures and stuff on them. Like, check that out. I mean, that is really cool. So I'm assuming maybe they needed some kind of licensing from Devir to actually make this, because it does have the artwork on the inserts, but that is super cool. I'm so looking forward to building this, like putting it together, because Bitoku totally needs an insert. Like, Bitoku has so many freaking pieces and it's just like a billion bags in the box. So I seriously cannot wait to put this together. And when I do, I will show it to you after I've put it together. And they assured me that it holds sleeved cards as well. So yeah, so I'm super duper excited for this. So I'm really grateful for this review copy of this insert. And I can't get this back on, so whatever. I'm gonna make it soon anyway. The next game I'll show you is Potion Slingers. This is a game I had covered for its Kickstarter. I happened to be walking past the booth, so the designer handed me a production copy of this game. I've opened the box just so I could put in the extra pack of cards I was handed, but it's been a long time since I've played this game, but apparently a lot of people played it at PAX Unplugged. It comes with a nice insert. But apparently a lot of people were playing this at PAX Unplugged and buying copies of this game, so I'm really happy for the designer that that's the case, because honestly I don't remember too much about it. It's been so long since I covered it. And that's a problem when you are a content creator, I guess, or maybe it's just me, I don't know. But it's hard to remember games and exactly how they play. But the artwork in this was cool, and as I was walking by, he gave me this as well as the potion plushie, which is right there. So I stuck that up on the wall. So yeah, so this was nice to receive. The designer is Anthony Fasano. So it's a deck building and comboing brouhaha. So yeah, Potion Slingers. So I received that. Another game I will talk about, which I did not get at PAX Unplugged, but it arrived just like before PAX Unplugged, is Passengers. So I talked about this before, I think. So this is a game I'm going to be covering for its GameFound. I believe it's going to be on GameFound, not on Kickstarter. It's designed by Juiced Das. I don't know if he also did the artwork, but I believe he did. And the art is super cool in this, like seriously. So this is like an updated prototype. I had a previous prototype of this, but this one is much nicer. Like super duper nice. It comes with these really nice boards with like the stunning artwork. Like, oh my God, I just really, really love this art so freaking much. Like super beautiful. This is like a social deduction game. I'm super excited to play this, but it needs a minimum of 4 players. So I'm definitely gonna need to take it to like a busy game night in order to play this. Let me just show you some of the cards. So this is the back of the cards. Well, some of them. This is the back again, another back. And like, look at the art on these cards. It's just really cool. Super cool artwork. Just really, really love it. So those are some of the cards. And then I'll just show you some more and some tokens. Here is a token. So black on one side, white on the other. And then here are some other cards. I might actually sleeve these. I don't know. We'll see. But I just really love the artwork, and then when I get like prototypes that I really love, I just cannot help myself but sleeve them. So, so yeah. So I just put these chips back in here. I'm assuming each player gets a chip. And then let me just show you. Comes with some blue cubes, and then these look really, really cool as well. So it comes with 3. Oh, sorry, it's the back side. Comes with these and a nice metal coin, which is super nice. Yeah, so like a really nice pre-production copy. Very nice. No idea if they'll have like stretch goals or anything like that. I don't know much about the campaign. I actually don't even know when it's starting. I really need to be updated because, like I said, I've had the original prototype for like, I don't know, like a year now, and I don't know when it's launching. But it says here, on the riverbanks of Limbo, one can peer through the slits of their burial mask to just make out the glow on the other side of the watery divide. There, a simple boat ride away, lies eternal bliss. Back on Earth, the mortals have many names for this place, but here they are known as the Afterlands. You and your fellow farriers have traveled to the shores of the Afterlands countless times, but have never been allowed to set a foot there. Instead, it is your eternal task to drop off deserving souls here, and immediately return back to pick up more. For years and years, ages and ages, until the gods decide to relieve you from your task. There is, however, a promise of a shortcut. Dark whispers have let you know that if enough demons can be smuggled into the Afterlands, a new order will be established. An order that will, hand on black heart, allow you into the heavenly lands much faster. In all the ages you have been serving as a soul guide, no such offer has ever been presented. So you wonder, would you ever be persuaded to take the deal? Have the others taken it already? So yeah, that's pretty cool. So it sounds really cool, so I can't wait to play this. So again, this I did not get at PAX Unplugged. It arrived like shortly before PAX. So I'm really looking forward to playing that. Another review copy I picked up at PAX is Ahoy. So Ahoy is from Devir Games. It's a game of seafaring and smuggling for 2 to 4 players, designed by Greg Loring Albright, developed by Nick Brockman, and with art done by Kyle Farron. So I used to be on Devir Games' like content creator list to get review copies, but then I was taken off of it. So now I can only get review copies when I'm at the convention, so not in advance. So yeah, so here it looks like it's a player board for the different factions, and this like just looks like a main scoring board. Don't really know how it plays, but I'll just show you some of these tiles. I just really love the artwork. I just really love Kyle Farron's art. Here are the backs of the cards and the fronts. So if you've played this game, let me know, because I know it's been out for some time now. And then just a bunch of different tokens and stuff like that, and money. So if you've played this, let me know what you think. I'd be curious how it plays. So I need to play this as well. I think it'll do better at a higher player count from what I read online. So I think I would like to play at a higher player count, but it's for 2 to 4 players. So another game I received a review copy of is Good Puppers from Asmodee Games. I really wanted to pick up their one deck Galaxy game. I believe that's what it's called. It's like supposed to be like one deck dungeon, but it's Galaxy instead, like set in space. But they didn't have review copies of that available, but hopefully I'll get one at some point. But I did get Good Puppers. So this is just, created by Chris Seaslick, and art done by Carrie Coren and Amanda Coronado, and it's published by Asmodee, and it is for 2 to 5 players. So yeah, it's got cute little dogs in it, and I love dogs. Like, you know, I really enjoyed Dog Walker, which I know is nothing like this, but after playing that, I was like, I could use another game with cute dogs in it. Like, why not? So when I saw it, I actually asked for a review copy of this because I was like, I need more games with dogs in them. Now, I wish people would make a game with cats. So I think we need a good kitty game now. So yeah, so I'll just show you some more of the dogs. So yeah, they're super cute. No Samoyeds, and I don't even think I saw a husky in here. So it looks more like small, or maybe there is a husky, maybe actually, never mind. So yeah, so I got this, and then finally, I think I'm down to the last thing I can show you. I actually bought this from my local gaming store, Scout. I actually went in to find a copy of Cat in the Box. So while I was at PAX Unplugged, I stopped by the Bezier booth to see if I could get a review copy of Cat in the Box, but I was told no. So then I was like, okay, and unfortunately the answer, because I had to email them, the people at the booth told me to email the marketing person to see if I could get a review copy of Cat in the Box, but by the time she responded, it was already after the convention, and so I didn't end up going back anyway to buy a copy there. Maybe I should have, but anyway, so I went to my local game store to see if I could find a copy of Cat in the Box, and they were all out, of course. So I picked up Scout instead, since I've heard a lot of good things about Scout. It's an oink game, a ladder climbing game. So I picked this up. The cards just have like numbers on them on both sides. I'm actually gonna take this to an event tonight. That's not a board gaming event, but where the opportunity to play a small game might arise. So yeah, so I picked up Scout. I actually tried playing this with my sister and brother-in-law, who are not really into board games, and they were not really, you know, grasping how it plays. So unfortunately, it just did not have a very good play of it. So I need to play with board gamers, I think, who can like kind of like understand the strategy behind it. So those were all the games I received, or that arrived, or that I bought in the last week or so. So let's move on to games that I am backing. Wow, this is a long video. Okay, so games that I am backing, there's a number of them now. Actually, no, there's only 2 at the moment, never mind. I thought there was something else. I could have sworn I backed something else recently. Why is it not showing up? Actually, okay, so there's a couple. So the first thing I'm backing, it's called Soul Last Days of a Star. It's like a social deduction game, like set in space. The campaign ends January 3rd. It's gotten really good reviews. If you live in America and you don't own the game and you want the game plus the insert, plus shipping, it's $105. So it's not cheap, but it's gotten really good reviews, and I follow a couple people on Kickstarter, including Dan Halligan, who is the designer of like my favorite board game of all time, Obsession, and I saw that he backed it, and that's what led me to this campaign. Like, I didn't even know that there was a campaign for this until I got the notification that Dan Halligan backed this, and then I read the reviews and I was like, wow, this like sounds really good. Like one of the testimonials or reviews, let me just find it. Yeah, so yeah, one person said, one of the finest science fiction games ever designed. I mean, that's high praise. Again, you know, it's all subjective, but I'm curious. I really want to check this out. So yeah, so I backed it at the level where you get both the game and the insert. So again, you know, I'll leave links below, of course. So that's one thing that I am backing, which is quite expensive. Another thing I am backing is the game called Numbsters from Button Shy Games. I still have a couple of Button Shy games that I still need to play, which are on my shelf of shame. So maybe I should just cancel this. I'll probably cancel it. I don't know. And another thing that I mentioned last time that I'm backing is Fit to Print, and that ends on December 10th. So that will probably be ending on the day that you watch this video. And then I am backing, this I also received a notification of, so I didn't know that it was a Kickstarter until I saw that Shem Phillips backed it, because I follow him on Kickstarter as well. So Paladin card protection, so it's just for card sleeves, so I'm backing some Paladin sleeves. So that is all that I'm backing right now. But there is a project that I might end up backing, which I walked by at the at PAX Unplugged. So I walked by the Mycelium booth, which looks like a really good game. It's like from an indie publisher. It's already made over $137,000. It's got 10 days to go. I'm very likely going to back this. Like, it looks so cute. It's got cute mushrooms in it. It's apparently, I think they described it, if I remember correctly, as both the worker placement and pick up and deliver game, if I remember correctly. But it looks super adorable. The artwork is super cute. So yeah, I'm probably gonna back this. Yeah. And like, yeah, they've like, you know, I think they've just been adding more and more stretch goals since they've already hit like, you know, 100-something thousand. What did I just say it was? 100 what? 37,000. Yeah. So yeah, it looks really cute. I'll leave a link below. Let me know if you're backing any of these games. So let's move on now. So let me just talk a little bit about PAX, I guess, aside from the tournament. So I didn't do much. This year, as opposed to last year, I did not have any meetings set up with publishers, which in a way was kind of nice, I guess. You know, last year when I had meetings set up with publishers, like, I felt like they didn't go anywhere. Like, I don't know at the end of the day what the purpose of these meetings was, like maybe to meet me in person. But when you're wearing a mask, like, you know, you're not getting a full like impression of the other person because there's so much that you can't see on a person's face, right? You know, you might be able to tell when someone is smiling, but sometimes you can't. And, you know, a lot is missed when you're wearing a mask, and it's harder to hear people, you know, and stuff like that. I did see that attendance was lower this year than last year. So last year when PAX happened, it was the first convention to open up after COVID. So even though there was a mask and vaccination requirement, attendance was really high. But since then, there have been a number of conventions where you do not have to wear a mask. So I think maybe that's why attendance was lower this year at PAX, because people are like, why is there a mask requirement when we can go to conventions where there isn't one, like UKGE, for example, in Europe. So maybe that's why attendance was lower, I don't know. But this year I had no meetings set up with publishers, and it was kind of nice in a way to not like have those meetings, I guess, since last year I felt like I spent so much time meeting with publishers, and in the end, like, I didn't really get to review any of their games. Like, you know, they just wanted me to like post pictures of their games from the tables when I was actually there at PAX, but then would not work with me afterwards. So I'm like, I don't know if that's actually fair or not. Like, I'm just kind of like, you know, giving them like free content, and then they don't want to work with me after I leave PAX. I don't know how it typically works for people, but that's what I found happened anyway. So in a way, I'm glad I didn't have that many meetings or any meetings set up. So and I was still able to get review copies and stuff like that, so that was nice. And I was just able to do my own thing, which, you know, ended up being AnnaPurna for 2 days. So yeah, and it was nice to see people old and new, you know, people that I, you know, am friends with and have seen before. It was nice like to have a chat with Tom Vassell. He was actually there this year. He wasn't there last year, and I've met Tom before, so it was nice to see him. I've been to the Dice Tower Studios, which is really cool. So yes, I had a nice chat with him, saw some other people who I hadn't seen before. You know, it was nice to see. Apparently there's still talk in the industry, and people are still being warned not to see me, because, you know, I met up with a friend for dinner, and he wouldn't tell me who told him this, but he was warned against meeting up with me for dinner one night. So apparently people still think I'm some dangerous person who's going to like do something to them, or it's going to affect their reputation if they like hang out with me, which is just complete bullshit. Like, it's just so ridiculous, and it's just really laughable that, you know, people think that. So yeah, it would be really awkward to go to the media room and see people who clearly want to have nothing to do with me. And then like a content creator who wants to have nothing to do with me was in front of me one day. waiting for a locker, and he just turned around and said, "Hello, Sarah," in like such a weird way. So I was just like, "Hi." Like, it was just so bizarre. It's like, dude, you don't want to have anything to do with me, so just like, no need to pretend, you know, to be nice right now and say hello to me. Like, I don't know. Like, what's even the point if you're not even going to talk to me? Like, just to say hello and then turn back around. It's very bizarre, very, very weird. I think people are just very, very weird. So, you know, there are people who would say hi to me and tell me that they enjoy my content, other content creators, but then make sure that they would not in any way like take a photograph with me, you know, because God forbid they're seen associating with me in any way. It's just so stupid, honestly. I can't believe, like, you know, how childish all of this is. So yeah, so that part of the convention I don't necessarily enjoy. I don't necessarily enjoy going to the media room and seeing a bunch of people who in my mind are hypocrites and cowards and just stupid and just, you know, laughable. They do laughable things. It's just ridiculous. But, you know, I still enjoy the convention overall, and, you know, meeting people, meeting fans. You know, some people recognized me, which was nice. The best part of the convention happened outside of the convention hall. So on Sunday, I had decided, a part of me decided at first that I wasn't even going to go to the convention hall on Sunday because I was tired. Just really, really tired from walking so much and just, you know, playing games. But then I decided I should at least see my local friends before heading back. So I wanted to just go hang out with them for a bit before leaving. But on the way to the convention hall, I saw these two guys struggling with a stray cat on the streets of like downtown Philly. Like, it's downtown Philly and there's like a cute little stray kitten and these two guys struggling to capture her. So I walk up to them and I asked them like, what's going on? They ended up being gamers, Chris and Eddie. So I asked them like, you know, is this a stray cat? And they're like, yeah, we want to take her to, you know, a local animal hospital, an emergency vet that's actually open on Sundays. So they were really struggling to try to get a hold of this cat. So the cat seemed to like me. So I took one of the guys' like sweatshirts and I was like, okay, we need to wrap the cat in the sweatshirt so that she can't like escape with her, you know, trying to, like, if you just try to hold her by the way, you know, she is without any wrapping of any kind, she'll easily be able to escape because cats are very good like that. You know, they're escape artists, they're masterminds at that. So we used one of his sweatshirts and I asked if I could just tag along while they take her to the hospital because now I was super invested. Like, I am a cat person. I love animals and, you know, rescuing animals, whether that's domestic animals or wild animals, you know, it's like something that means a lot to me. So there's no way I could just leave at that point and not find out what happens to this cat. So we all went together to the hospital. She got a full checkup. They, you know, checked to see if she was pregnant. She was not. So she had an ultrasound done. Super cute watching all of that. Like this cute little stray kitten who was probably no more than like 6 months old, just adorable. That's what they said, that she was probably no more than 6 months old. But cats, even little ones, even kittens, end up getting pregnant when they're stray. So then, you know, they did a checkup. She was really healthy. Like, she was very clean for a stray cat. Her fur was so soft, just really nice. I was like so tempted to just take her myself, to be honest, but Dobby doesn't do well with other cats. He's quite old. He's 16 years old. And, you know, even the vet said, yeah, she understands that an older cat like Dobby just would not want, you know, a new kitten in the house. And that's why I had to give Toffee to my mom. When I rescued Toffee, took Toffee in, and then that didn't end up working out 2 years ago. Toffee, a COVID rescue. So he's my mom's cat now, and they love each other so much. So anyway, so in the end, you know, they were going to make sure that she's taken care of and found a good home. They like got her a cute little pineapple bed and everything and made her a nice, you know, space to sleep and everything. And so I decided that we should name her before we leave because, you know, they found her and, you know, I wanted to give her a board gaming name since all of us were gamers. So we named her Innis, which is the favorite board game of Chris, like the guy who found her. So yeah, so Innis is maybe still in Philadelphia looking for a home. So if you want to go to that emergency vet in downtown Philly, I'll see if I can find the address online and maybe put it below. And you want to rescue Innis, like how cute would that be? Innis deserves a really good home. So that was like my favorite part of the convention, to be honest, was this cat rescue. Like, it was the best thing ever, just the best feeling ever to be able to help an animal with 2 other gamers. And then we had a, you know, nice long chat while we were walking together to the convention hall afterwards about board games and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed that. I just really enjoyed meeting strangers. I also met a couple other strangers while waiting in line to get into the convention hall and stuff like that. And honestly, that's like my favorite part, was just meeting people I don't know and talking to them and not having a bunch of crazy other content creators prejudge me as, you know, being something else because, you know, God forbid I have some different opinions than them on certain things, or point out their hypocrisy and double standards when it comes to human rights. So yeah, so I really enjoy meeting strangers actually and just talking to them about games and stuff, and that was just really, really enjoyable. So that was my PAX experience, and I do want to show you guys something else that I forgot to show. Where are they? Weirdo, here they are. So I received these Obsession pins and I absolutely love them. So as you know, Obsession is my favorite board game. So Sir Meeple has a collection of new Obsession enamel pins. I really wish it had arrived in time for PAX Unplugged because I totally would have worn this Duchess Lilo pin, because that is my favorite card in any board game ever. If you play Obsession, you will know what a funny card it is because of all the different servants it requires for you to actually use her. It's just hilarious. It's just so freaking funny. I don't know if anyone's ever actually managed to play that card in a game, but if they have, that is just fantastic. And then you get all the different servants that appear in Obsession if you order the whole collection. So I was super excited about these pins arriving. I just wish that they had arrived a bit sooner. I did run into one person, actually the guy who was working at the Folded Space booth. When I was walking by, it's actually his pen that caught my attention. He caught my attention first because he's like, I'm a fan of your work. And then I saw that he actually had a Duchess Lilo pin already on his lanyard. And I was like, dude, how did you get that already? Like, it was just announced like right before PAX that they were available to order on the Sir Meeple website. And he said that Dan Halligan had actually given him that pin. So I guess Dan Halligan had like an early copy of it and gave it to him. And I saw it in person at PAX and I was like just gushing over it. It's such good quality. The attention to detail on this Duchess Lilo pin is just so freaking fantastic. I love it so much. So I did have a Obsession pin on my lanyard, which was the Cabinet of Curiosities pin, but going forward, that will be replaced with this pin. I'm super excited about that. I will make a podcast announcement. So the owner of Sir Meeple, Tim, who's a friend of mine, he's using my likeness in a podcast that will be coming out next year called Hopscotch Robot. So I guess I am the character who is like, I think I'm a robot who, actually, I don't want to butcher the description, so I'm not going to give you the description, but it sounds really cool. And so a poster came out for the podcast, so I'll just put up the poster here, Hopscotch Robot, and that's like me in the center. So yeah, I'm super excited for this podcast. I don't think I'll have like much of a role in it, to be honest, but if I'm given the opportunity to actually engage more with the podcast and talk more in it, I would love that. But I think for now, he's just using my likeness, which I gave him permission to do, and my voice for certain things. But I think it's going to be the other guys, but just basically like discussing board games. So it is a board game podcast. Basically like aliens have like invaded Earth and have like challenged humans to play certain games. And so humans are trying to like become like the best at every board game that exists. I believe that is the premise of the podcast, which sounds really cool. And yeah, I would love to take a bigger part in it if the opportunity arises. But I'm just happy for my likeness to be used. Honestly, I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, so that's the podcast announcement, which now will lead into my question of the week. So I have a question for you guys. Do you guys think that AI art is going to replace board game artists? It's been a hot topic, you know, a hot discussion topic recently in the board game design communities on Facebook. I personally do not think so. I cannot foresee AI art replacing actual artists. As someone who is coming out with a board game someday, hopefully of her own, actually a couple of them, not just one, I would actually want to hire real artists and not use AI art, because like you're never going to get exactly the vision that you want with an AI art like thing. Like yes, it takes like inspiration from different artists and you'll give it a prompt and you'll tell it what you want it to make, but it's never going to be exactly what you envision because it's going to, you know, come up with something on its own. So if I have a certain vision in mind for my elephant game or my other, like, you know, deck building game that I'm creating, it's not going to be exactly what I want. So my favorite board game artist is Weberson Santiago, and my dream is to hopefully someday be able to afford to hire him to do the art for one of my board games. Not the elephant one, but another one that I have in mind that I think he would be perfect for. So yeah, I personally don't think AI art is going to replace board game artists. I don't know, but you know, you guys tell me what what you think about that. I'm really curious to hear your answers on, about this. A lot of discussion about it, especially with this new trend going around with the Lensa app, which I also fell prey to, and now I kind of regret it. So there's been a huge TikTok and Instagram trend where people have been uploading their selfies to this AI art app and then having a bunch of different portraits, avatars generated. And so I did that. So I first had to sign up for the 1 week, or was it 1 month? I think it was 1 week free trial of this app. But then after doing that, you still have to pay. So I still had to pay like $8 in order to get 200 different avatars generated of me after I uploaded a bunch of selfies. And I would say the vast majority did not even look like me. I thought it was a waste of $8, but I did like a couple of them, which I saved. So I saved like 4 or 5 of them. And one of them I'm now using as my Twitter picture, my Twitter avatar. So I did fall prey to that. And of course, I know all the warnings that they're probably going to use my photographs for a bunch of other stuff, because you give them rights to using your photographs for whatever they want, but hopefully it won't be for like really nefarious purposes. I hope not. so we'll see. But I'm hoping I won't ever fall prey to that again. So yeah, it was a waste of $8. I believe that now. But I don't think AI art will replace board game artists, because I don't think you're ever going to get exactly what you want from an AI art like app. That's just my thought. I would love to know what you think about that. And until next time, guys, bye.